Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the skimming skimmer herself, Sandy Reevy.
Hi, I bet I know why.
It is November 23rd and episode 122, so let's get right into it. In the transits, we have Monday, November 23rd, Mercury trine Neptune. Trust in today.
Trust in today.
Thursday, November 26th, Happy Thanksgiving, and the moon in Aries.
A bit testy.
Friday, November 27th, Mercury sextile Pluto.
Figuring stuff out.
Venus opposing Uranus.
Need a break from norm.
Saturday, November 28th, Neptune stations direct.
Finishing up 5 months retrograde.
And Mercury sextile Jupiter.
Go ahead, make your day.
Then next week, Monday, November 30th, the lunar eclipse in Gemini.
First series in the Gemini-Sag axis.
And Mercury sextile Saturn.
What's next?
Then the Talisman times that Sandy has finished up. Saturday, November 21st to follow my heart. And Monday, November 23rd to increase income from all sources. Then upcoming to promote oneself, to gain profit through work collaborations, and to step away, find solace, and create. Then on the horizon, we have a new orbit of the week. Our gratitude charms are right on time for Thanksgiving, our Black Friday sale, as well as our upcoming webinars, both educational and talisman making. Then in our house, Sandy and I are going to talk about our newest favorite oil, castor oil. So if you haven't heard of it, make sure to tune in until the end of the episode because we are going to be talking about this oil, also known as the Palm of Christ. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions. And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control where you go. Yes, you're the skimming skimmer.
Skimming. Oh, because I skip my skimmed news reports every day.
It is true.
Yeah. Well, I have a funny story. Do I tell it? Can I tell it now?
Of course.
I'm in a class and it's on Zoom. And it's a 2-hour class and I'm sitting up in my upstairs office, which is where I make my talismans. And there was something that I had to make for photography, which they're fake. They're not really talismans. They're fake, right? Mm-hmm. And I had to get this done. And so I was slicing my clay and wrapping it. And I was rolling the beads and I didn't want
During your class?
Yeah.
Could they see this?
Well, I was making sure I was rolling very slowly because off camera down in my lap, and I'm rolling real slow so that I'm not like my normal up here in my face kind of in my chest level. And you kind of rock, when you put your hands together and roll. And so I'm like, oh my God, I hope they don't see me, right? So the class is over. The next morning, I get my skimmed news report on my email like I do every day at like 6 a.m. And the title of this next day's skimmed was, "We see you rolling."
Oh my gosh. And you were just like a deer in headlights.
I was like
they found me.
They saw me rolling. I didn't want them to see me.
Oh, that's good.
So anyway, my little skim story for the week.
Awesome. Well, I found a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, and I wanted to share it with everyone and going direct. So we got a 5-star one, and we really love those.
Well, isn't that our favorite?
Those are our favorite.
Yeah.
So this one is from Journey to Self Podcast. This was October 24th. She says, I'm assuming it's she. I think I can assume that.
She,
but
he, they.
yeah. They say informative and funny, 5 stars. Love this podcast and the ladies. They are funny and real. The information is so good and how it is explained is easily digested. Thank you for this awesome podcast.
Awesome cost.
Awesome.
Thank
awesome
you.
Podcast.
Thank you for that add on. He, she, they. We'll take, and we'll even take creative, constructive suggestions.
I don't like those. I'm just kidding. Those are fine too. But I want to hear like kind of like from where is everyone listening to, so that I'm a listener from Georgia. I'm a listener from
That would be cool to know.
California.
I know we just got someone from Newfoundland.
Right. Which is fun.
So hello to you, Newfoundlander. I know you'll be listening.
Yeah. So let's move on into the transits. And of course, if anyone wants to give us a review, there are certain ways to do it. You want to head over to your Apple Podcasts if you do have an iPhone. However, you can also on Stitcher and some of the other podcast review providers, you can go ahead and write us a review there. So
write a review because Mercury is out of its shadow. So write.
It's perfect timing.
Can I just go through the highlights?
Okay, let's move into the transits. Yes.
Now that we're recording and I can say this out loud, I just like to hear how the highlighted of the transits, how they roll. So trust in today, a bit testy, figuring stuff out. Need a break from norm. Finishing up 5 months backwards. Go ahead, make your day. First series in Jupiter Sag. What's next? So that's kind of the overall lineup. Now let's get into specifics on that. Let's break that down. But I also want to mention what the orbit of the week is here because of course, what my orbit of the week that I just started last week, this one is I am connected. So think about I am connected throughout this week's journey through the writing and the energy coming up and see how you can connect to this.
The one I connect with most is the go ahead, make your day. I like that. Giving that permission. So let's move to the top of the week, Monday, November 23rd. If you guys are all listening on time, Mercury trine Neptune.
10:40 p.m. Trust in today. You don't need to see it to believe it. So it's kind of this having faith and trust. This is Mercury in the sign of Scorpio, which, likes to dive in to get information, likes to get to the bottom of things. And it's a trine to Neptune. And Neptune is in his own sign of Pisces. So it's a trine. It's like, what information do I dive in today that I can't put my finger on, but I feel it? So it's more about empath or a sensitivity. So trust in what it is that comes up for you today.
And that also makes so much sense with the orbit of the week being I'm connected, because it is trusting that instinct, trusting that answer that we have coming from inside. We don't necessarily have to overthink and overanalyze. Sometimes that answer is just within. So jumping to Thursday is our next transit, November 26th. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks you.
And it's moon in Aries.
Yeah, and it's not usually, I don't follow moon transits. Otherwise, this would be a 2-hour podcast. But I just wanted to mention that moon is in Aries all day until 9:43 p.m. Central, when this moon moves into Taurus, which is really exalted there. So, moon in Aries can be a bit testy. Because, it's about emotions are fiery. So it's like too many people talking at one time and nobody's listening, nobody's receiving because everybody's trying to talk, or interruptions. So pay attention to that, or invite people over for dessert only. And really the CDC is saying don't travel, don't invite anybody over to your house that's not somebody you live with.
Right.
And so maybe that you're having to connect, maybe this is upsetting, right? Because Moon in Aries can be upsetting.
I mean, and I can imagine that a lot of people are going to be having some sort of celebration on like virtually, and that can be frustrating too when we love the people in our family so much and we can't be around them because we care so much about their health. That can be a struggle. And I even sent out that email just talking about that struggle, that thing that we have to balance right now is like, I love you, I want to be around you, but I also want to keep you safe.
It's kind of like, reminds me, well, first of all, we put our Zoom out call for our family, which we're calling a Thanksgathering.
Mm-hmm. I like
event.
That name.
Thanksgathering. But it also reminds me of that old adage, what it says, what you love, if you let it go, will return.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's kind of that, like, I'm doing this for the good of us all and the harm of none. Yes, it's a holiday, but it's a dinner. It's a meal. And it is my favorite meal, my favorite meal of the year.
Yes.
And I'm not going home.
I think that is a really good message for us all right now, is this sense of letting go.
And this was the first Thanksgiving ever in the history of my years that my mother was coming up to my Thanksgiving dinner table, and we had to cancel it.
And let it go.
And tell her, and say,
right.
Oh, bummer, but I'll see you again.
Right. And same day, Friday, Friday, November 27th, the next day, Black Friday, and this is going to be a quick insert. We are having our Black Friday sale start at midnight. So even on Thanksgiving night, you might want to have your cart all, fine-tuned and set up. This is Mercury sextile Pluto, figuring stuff out.
Yeah, we understand more of what has kind of rolled into this jumbled news that we're getting, because Mercury is the messenger. Mercury is the news man, delivering messages. But are we able, here we feel like we're being able to pull apart the tangled mess, which, if you know one of your favorite things to do, Alex, is what? Being able to pull apart a tangled mess.
Oh, yeah. Like jewelry, like really fine chains. Everyone knows this. You like put all of your jewelry in like one bag, and then when you pull it out, it's just like a big
one
like
art piece,
bird's nest of a ball. I love untangling that.
You do. It's always your job.
I would actually get paid a decent amount to untangle people's jewelry balls, I guess.
There's a new...
No, but remember when we used to have the storefront, and people would come in being like, can you help me, please? And I'd be like, oh, sure. I would have done it for free, but still people paid me.
So it's kind of like figuring stuff out. The Mercury in a sextile to Pluto wants to really come to the answer, and being able there to kind of get into the mess
and sort it all out.
Yeah.
And so Friday, November 27th, same day, Venus opposes Uranus.
This happens at 11:11 p.m. You need a break from norm, and I don't mean like norm, like Tom, Dick, and Norm.
Right.
Yeah.
The normal.
It's funny because we have no normal. and you need a break from no normal.
Right. Well, I mean, being in this new quote unquote new normal for so long, it is starting to become the normal. But it also is like that normal of our inner world. You know, if we have a normal that within us that is like those negative patterns or those, you know, cyclical ways or those behaviors we want to get rid of. So.
And it's a Friday, and usually it's a day we do get to stay home. I know we get to stay home every Friday this whole year, but Venus is about relationships, about things you desire, what you find charming and pleasurable, and it's opposing Uranus. So there's kind of like a uptick, a surprise, something that comes in. So how to work with this energy voluntarily versus not doing anything and having it happen to you. Uranus will do that. Mm-hmm. So plan on something different today. And, you know, maybe, I don't know, I have an idea. Shop on our Black Friday sale and find some surprises there.
And what a perfect way to break that norm, you know? Because
shop first with a small business.
Shop small, of course, but to shop talismans because they're so meaningful, and they're not just supposed to be a pretty piece that you put on that people compliment you, and it's, you know, more of that typical, empty.
Yeah. Well, a typical bracelet or a typical. Right.
It has a story.
Piece.
It has a purpose. It has a desire for its reason to be here, for its reason to be made. It wants to see that manifest. So it's about, you know, working in tandem with our talisman, breaking that normal, and really making the switch between, okay, what is it? Where am I right now? And where do I want to take my next step and really break out of it?
And just like I said, Uranus is going to work. Uranus, if you know it's coming, you can plan for the interaction in a surprising, happy way. Otherwise, if you don't, it'll come and hit you when you least expect it. And it's happening on this Friday, which is Black Friday.
Yes. And Saturday, November 28th, Neptune stations direct. Woohoo!
Which I just want to say is Small Business Saturday.
Yes. We like that one too.
Well, we're not opening our doors like we used to when we had the shop. Oh my God.
Those events were so much
games,
so much fun.
Raffles and balloons and food and hot chocolate. And at a certain point, we get the champagne out. It was a big thing for us, Small Business Saturday.
Yeah, it still is. Because
it still is
so important. It is so important, especially now, to support your local
It's the future. I won't get into it, but this new paradigm that's coming in is all about individuality. It's not about big box stores anymore. We already see that. So it really is promoting small businesses. So really keep your money close to your neighborhood. That keeps your neighborhood in operation.
In health. Yeah.
Keep the and if you're listening to us, that means you kind of like us. Huh? That's funny to say. You know, to support, you know, I listen, you know, like Skimmed. I talk about Skimmed, or if we listen to NPR or any of those, it's like, if you like what we're doing here, support us with a donation. Well, we don't say that. We've never said that. It's like, support us by supporting yourself. You know, we sell products.
Yeah.
You know, we anyway.
Incredible.
A little
products.
bit about that. And let's get back to the
next
astrology.
one. Same day, Saturday, November 28th. Mercury sextile.
No, I haven't even talked about the Neptune. I interrupted you.
Keep on keeping on.
Because I interrupted you. It's like Neptune stationing direct. He's kind of stalled. This is at 18 degrees of Pisces, and this is at 6:36 p.m. And he's finishing up the 5-month retrograde, which he does every year. So this ain't nothing but a chicken leg. But he's been in retrograde since June. And I just want to mention that anyone who has planets on that 18th Pisces period, which would be anyone, and the only thing I know is whose birthday The sun is at
signs.
18 degrees of Pisces. Anyone that has March 9th or March 10th, right around there. This is the last pass for you to have this Neptune. So are you done with your fantasy life? And if it's not fantasy life, would you call it confusion? Because remember, fantasy can take you in one positive storyline, but that same storyline could be like, huh?
More like a nightmare?
Huh?
Oh.
Like, what message am I supposed to get from this? Right? Like, some people can't
murky,
go into
confusing.
storyline.
Okay.
I'm guessing everybody here listening can have daydreams. They actually get messages from their dream journaling. But it's like, this is for those people born March 9 and 10, you're finishing up that fantasy vision or that confusion. And I'm telling the March 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, these babies.
That's a wide range, yeah.
To get ready for that. Because as soon as on this day, this Neptune starts moving forward again, it's going to take a minute to get going because it's just turned. That, gosh, Neptune moves 5 degrees by June of next year. So that's like, what is that, 6-7 months, moves 5 degrees. That's pretty fast for Neptune. So here, get ready, March 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th babies. It's coming for you. So we'll talk more about that. But, Neptune wants to bring in more spiritual, meditative techniques. Imaginary friends, writing, journaling, maybe spending alone time somehow because it'll be hitting your sun. You may feel confused and kind of out of sorts. It's the blessings. Well, lean into it. You're right. It's the blessing. When somebody has a Neptune on a primary planet, which the sun is definitely a primary planet, it's like being walked down to the edge of the shore and somebody invites you to get onto the canoe. And you do. You get in and they push you away. And you're in it by yourself. You thought they were getting in too. You thought you were going to go on a lovely canoe ride in the dark, in the fog.
No, that totally was like a Little Mermaid moment.
And you like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And the tide takes you out. And you have no oars. You have no motor. You're on a journey to find your trust. Mm-hmm. So you have to connect to yourself in a really strong way. So this is where it's a great place for creativity. Right. Find your artistry.
And, kind of
and don't try and the old man in the sea,
And having that sense of adventure, having that sense of acceptance where this is the journey ahead of me right now.
I'm in it in stillness.
And it's no mistake.
And you're not wrong.
Right.
That's the whole point of astrology. And I got off, all my readings today and they're like, oh my God, thank you. Right. Mm-hmm. Thank you for, that's almost done. Is that what you're saying? Like my next birthday is going to be this, which is in 2 weeks. I'm like, yep, you're coming out of the 12th house, going into the first. Completely different shift. Mm-hmm. So stuff like that. So anyway, A little bit about Neptune.
So same day, Saturday, November 28th, Mercury sextile Jupiter.
Go ahead.
Make your day.
Yeah, this is move forward on your plan. Mercury out of shadow in a sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter is finishing up. It's at the last 2 degrees of Capricorn. He can't wait to get out of there. He is debilitated there. So this, but yet, any planet coming up in sextiling, which is a 60 degree, is saying, hey, let's move together in tandem and let's do something good.
Yeah. Yeah. And make progress. So Monday, so this is next Monday, November 30th. These are two transits that we just want to keep on your radar. The lunar eclipse in Gemini is first.
Yeah, 8 degrees of Gemini, 38 minutes. So we would say really about a 9 Gemini. This is at 3:30 in the morning. And it's the first series of the Gemini Sagittarius axis. We just finished up the year and a half of the Capricorn Cancer axis. Mm-hmm. So we're moving backwards that way. It's a very strong emotional feeling concerning relationships. This is not such an easy one. So it's a penumbral, so it's not real strong. It's a series cycle of 4 south. This will play more into the solar eclipse that we're having on December 14th. I think that's it.
Okay.
Lunar eclipses are during the full moon.
Right.
So we'll see the Earth, and it's not going to look like what's considered the bite out of the apple. We've talked about that, I think, in the past, where you see a definitive mark, which is the planet Earth on the moon. You're not going to see that this time. It's a penumbral, so it's going to go around. Well, it'll be a shade.
It'll look like a different color, right?
Yeah, it'll look like a different color. But we see that somewhere in the Americas.
Yes, actually, we see it in most of Europe, Asia, Australia, North America, South America. So a lot of places are going to be seeing this. It'll be interesting. It's going to be a penumbra. So we won't get to see the bite of the apple. We're going to see that discoloration.
Faded. Yeah.
From our ozone. So that's all. Wait, no. We are going to share one more of the transits. Same day, Monday, November 30th. Mercury sextile Saturn.
1:01 p.m. What's next? Yeah, look forward to it. Mercury is sextiling Saturn, saying, okay, what's our plan? So Mercury, sextile Pluto earlier about figuring stuff out. Then Mercury sextiles Jupiter. It says, go ahead and make your day, move forward on your plan. And now with it hitting in a sextile, because it's going to go boom, 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 all three of these, the Jupiter, then the Pluto, then the Jupiter, and then the Saturn. And so now it's like things are put in place to move forward.
So we're feeling connected. Mm-hmm. We're ready to take the next steps.
Yeah.
Okay. So talisman times that you finished up, we discussed this one last week, Saturday, November 21st, to follow my heart.
My love is my path. I look forward to finding you along my way. You and you and you. Whoever or whatever that is.
And that also reminds me, weirdly, of Snow White. When she's out in the forest and she's singing with all the birds and she's just so happy. I mean, all the Disney princesses are very, very happy, but you knew that she was really unhappy with her home life. But when she was out there on this path of love and connectedness with not necessarily people, but even animals.
Oh, the birds would come, the flowers would show their face and smile and dance in the wind. And
so just...
Yeah, I follow my heart. You often have to, repeat that to yourself so that you're not following the
mind,
the routine.
Process.
The gotta, have to, must, and you could not ever say that shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? Because that you're following your heart. Yeah, you get to still produce,
Right.
get things constructively, but you're doing it with joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Monday, November 23rd, to increase income from all sources.
My prosperity is returning. My cash money is one of those that increases at this time. This is
Cash money.
Cash money. Well, because it's coming from many sources. So whether it's through, income of stocks or material possessions or
Liquid.
gold.
Yeah. The liquid money.
Yeah, this is cash money, right? Where it's not a credit card that has a
negative
low balance. Yeah,
Right.
it's cash money.
Mm-hmm.
This was
We
this
all
was done
like
at
that
7
one.
a.m. this morning. And, of course, if you're listening to this on Monday, it's Moon Day, and I made this at Moon Hour at 7 in the morning. So.
Okay. So moving on to the upcoming talismans, we have later today is to promote oneself. So tell me about this one.
I easily persuade others to see and understand what I offer benefits them as well as myself. This is Sun in Sag, Moon in Pisces. Pisces is rising, it's the ascendant, and the Moon is sextile to Jupiter. So it's, about promoting oneself because the Sun is at the top of the chart in Sagittarius. Jupiter is in the 11th house, which is called good fortune. And the Moon is in the first house, which is an angle house of self. So it means the talisman wearer of this is promoting themselves to produce for others and in turn gets help, support from that group or that
Whoever is the one kind of selling.
They're persuading something. So it's like trying to sell something or they're...
and I think that's always a signature to someone who's very good at sales. Because they're not only promoting, say, this product or their service, or they're really promoting themselves as well.
You have to. People work with you if they like you and like your product and how your deliverables, and what they can hold you accountable for.
Right.
Right. So there's a aura there about... and this is what I easily persuade others to see and understand, that what I offer benefits them. Like they understand that what I can do for you will benefit you. And in turn, it's going to benefit me.
Right.
Because everything should be a give, receive, give, receive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also what kind of that pings in my head is the fact that I always tell people that whenever you're looking for a healer, for an astrologer, for a hand analysis, they'll always kind of ask me because I have a pretty big network, but I'll always say you need to first know that you connect with that person, because it's that connection that also makes the content make more sense and have more value.
It's true that, I had 3 readings today, and every single one of them we were laughing. It wasn't joke-like, but it was comfortable-like.
Right.
And so there's a trust, a give and take.
Right. And just because one of your best friends says, oh, my therapist, my astrologer, my this, my that, I love them, you might not blend with them. You need to go and taste the juice, test the waters yourself and see how that works. And so I guess that's a long explanation for, to really go and promote oneself, because it's not only you that's there doing the healing, that you're providing this healing or service. It is the connection the relationship that you're building with them.
And you may not persuade everybody. But there is not a bat in your hand hitting them over the head over and over and over and over again. It's like doing your PR, let's say, here, if it doesn't hit, it's not right for you.
Right.
Go that route.
Right.
Hit over here.
And the one thing that's true is like when you can be confident in your offerings and know that you help people and that you're doing it in a genuine and authentic way, you won't have trouble promoting yourself too much.
Yeah. Sometimes your work precedes you, right?
Yes.
Like your reputation, the word's out there. And I always feel that if your reputation is upstanding and in high integrity, your current peeps that you are in service or in trade with,
they kind of
promote you themselves.
Ambassadors, yeah. And so you have 2 more talisman times, both on Saturday, November 28th. The first, to gain profit through work collaborations. Collaborations are powerful. Let's hear about this one.
Our work together profits very favorably for us. I'm proud of us.
That's great. And you're working as a team.
Yeah, the sun is in Sagittarius. The moon is exalted in Taurus. The rising sign is Sagittarius, which makes Jupiter the ruler of the chart. And we have the transiting moon opposing the Mercury and trining Jupiter. And it's in Jupiter's in the second house of money. So this is a profitable venture that the two of you come to an agreement, and work. It is about work, because I had to use the word work collabs because the moon is in the 6th house. Which 6th house is about work.
I mean,
and service to others.
I think collaborations are great. Also, make sure that the people that you're collaborating with, again, I think it's like, actually the orbit of the week is kind of like right there in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Like, I am connected. Make sure that you're connected with the people that you're collaborating with, that you both have a similar vision of business, as well as a little bit more of that, like, what's my purpose here in this world?
Which really reminds me of, like, when anybody is starting a business, it really is about what is your mission statement, what is your vision statement. That is important so that your clients and your proposed people that are giving you money, customers know what you're about. So any collaborations, you need to read about what their mission statement is, what their vision statement, what their elevator speech is, and see if that aligns. I mean, they have to have one. There has to be a purpose of why somebody's in business.
Should we read ours, our mission and our vision?
Well, we changed ours, right? Thank you, Leslie Hetherington.
Yes. We deliver astrological guidance and talismans to passionate individuals looking for a focused connection to their greatest intention. And then this is a little add-on. We are not just bead makers. We believe that through positivity, love, courage, and truth, anything is possible. We believe that our beads have the power to encourage, inspire, and transform, that everyone may live a life of intention and purpose.
I think that last part was our old one, right? I think you put that in there, which
that
whole thing is way too long.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But they're in 2 separate sections.
Right. But that first one, we just went through a program that we got to each individually, kind of write ours and then take it up, move it around, and then we combined our comments. So anyway, there's that.
Okay.
So collabs. We love collabs.
We do.
I find it by collaborating with someone that's in your field, but you're coming at it from a different angle. Yeah.
And so the last upcoming talisman, to step away, find solace, and create.
I separate myself from busy. I focus on what I need at this time. Maybe it's to study or to write without interruption. It all enters and is delivered. Now, that's like, whoa, what did I write there? But the last part of that, it all enters, meaning it all comes in, and then I'm able to deliver whatever that is.
I love this one right
Right?
now. I mean,
I get goosebumps thinking
the word
of this.
solace is, it's a feeling of comfort and compassion for ourselves, and a form of protection where we can feel protected and still create. Because sometimes when we are utterly stressed out, we are living in fear, we're bombarded by all of these thoughts in our head. It's nearly impossible to be in a creative space then. So I like this, to step away, to find solace and create.
If
And
it's
just
just
like
sitting
it's a
doing
three-step
nothing.
process.
Well, you got to step away. You got to literally move your body somewhere away from busy. I separate myself from busy.
Yep.
You have to separate yourself.
Yeah. Right, because you don't even want to be busy, like,
With your eyeballs.
with trying to set up your free time, right? I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so moving on to the horizon. Our orbit of the week. I am connected. And so you just started this last week, and
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's basically happening until the end of 2020, where we're going to be featuring one of our orbit necklaces.
And by the way, these particular orbit necklaces that I have set up for the rest of the month, or the rest of the year, excuse me, are not on the Black Friday sale.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And also, our gratitude charms are back in stock. If you're on the mailing list, you did receive our preliminary emails about this, and the link is in the description.
And that's another thing not on
the Black
sale.
Friday sale. Yes.
On Black Friday.
Speaking of Black Friday sale,
Moving
November
right in.
27th.
Yeah.
So this is all day, November 27th, from midnight to midnight. We are stepping in with the holiday rush retailers and shop smallers and Cyber Mondayers, so that we can condense it all into one day, where all of our followers, including you all listening now, are going to be helping support us as a small business and supporting yourself to get and step out into that new normal that you want to create with a talisman. And the coolest thing that I like to tell people who, I'm meeting and I'm talking about talismans with is, like, you can shop for a talisman like you can shop for like a pair of shoes. Like, you kind of like imagine the shoes that you're going to be wearing and what you're going to be doing in them, right? Because you're going to get dance shoes. You're imagining, I'm going to be on the dance floor doing all these things. And like, I'm getting these business shoes. So I'm going to be shaking hands of really, high execs. A talisman, especially the way that we make them, and especially like the beautiful affirmations and intentions that come with all of our talismans, you can really shop and vision for what that means for you.
And everyone gets an activation call. All the talisman bracelets.
Right.
So nothing is literally like, you can have it at a discount, but you don't get that. None of that. These are hand chosen. Not all of them are on the sale. But the talisman bracelets are, and I've first made my first pass last week of which ones were screaming to me to say, pick me. I want to get moving. I got to get going here.
Yeah.
Right. And then I went through them again yesterday, and some of those are like, no. And others showed up. So I'll see if that list changes by Friday, because I go back in and ask kind of like, which ones do I think need to go? So these need to be activated.
Right. All the universal and personal intention bracelets. Yes.
And so they need to get moving on in someone's life.
Right. And so what an activation call is once you receive your bracelet in the little package that you receive, you'll head to our website, schedule the call with Sandy. It's a 15-minute call where she activates the talisman for you. She basically takes you through your first daily ceremony. It's an incredible experience. I have experienced it myself, and everyone who is getting off the call with Sandy always says, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is not something that just shows up like Amazon.com on my doorstep and I crack it open. This is something that is so set with intention and so powerful that when you do activate it, I promise you will feel that
feel the energy,
glowing sense of this talisman. So
one of the ones I just did, it was about health. And I get goosebumps when I think about it. This talisman wearer felt this incredible surge into her heart, and her heart was like moving. And anytime I've talked to her several times since then, and she'll always bring that up. She's like, it activated my heart.
Interesting.
Which is, the heart is and it was about health. This talisman was about health. So it kind of
blood, yes,
activated or whatever, if it had to skip a beat or something to get back into rhythm or whatever that was. But it's, and she's got many talismans, but this was her favorite, she said.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so if you want, sign up to be the first to know about the Black Friday sale. The link is in the description. Also, if you head over to intentionbeads.com and you scroll all the way down, you'll see a little subscribe button, and that is where you're going to know when that Black Friday sale is starting. The T-minus 1 hour email. So November 28th, we have our December forecast. This is the Facebook Live with Sandy and Susan. This is where they give you all the free dates and the free explanations, which is so helpful, of what's coming up in December. That is happening November 28th again. And make sure to
10 o'clock Central.
10 o'clock Central Time. Make sure to click the link or head over to Facebook so that you can RSVP, and you're going to be sent a reminder of when we go live, just in case it's not at the top of your mind on, Saturday after Thanksgiving and Black Friday sale. So December 9th is going to be our next webinar. This is the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. Now, we are going to be renaming this the new global paradigm, because this is the most powerful shift in 2020 that we will see yet.
Can I add most probably in our lifetime?
Okay. So it
doesn't happen, but every 200 years.
And we don't even have enough time to promote how incredibly big this is. So do not forget to sign up for this event. It is, December 9th. It's going to happen with Sandy and Susan, where they're going to have slides and teach you everything that you need to know. You can also personalize it by getting your own chart added to that. Or after the webinar, you can talk to Sandy and Susan directly about what's going on for you.
And I want to separate that from that's the webinars that we have teaching every
educational
webinars. That's our title because it's such a big thing. But I also have a Just Intention Beads,
a talisman making webinar that is happening December 19th or 20th. So
both days.
Yes. And it's still this new global paradigm. However, this is going to be much more astrologically timed because Sandy's going to be creating talismans live for each of the attendees. Mm-hmm. You're going to be there. You're going to know even more, especially personally, about this new global paradigm and where you fit in with it all. So this is going to be the creme de la creme of this.
So this is paradigm. A 2-hour event. You either can do Saturday at 11 a.m. or you can do Sunday at 9 a.m. And so you don't do both. And I think we're giving options, can I say, between a necklace and a bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be getting personal paperwork in your email a day or two in advance, and you'll be following that paperwork through the slide presentation that I'll have. And then I'll be making your talisman. So I'll set the intention. I'm working on that now. I think I finalized it, but I don't want to repeat it until it's
set
122% set.
Well, the link.
But then the attendee, you would come on screen while I'm rolling your bead and bring in your affirmation, and then you get a card with all of that information on it.
And it turns into that necklace or bracelet that you're looking for.
And it's one bead, but we're going to show you. So the sales page isn't up yet. Alex is still working on that.
Yes, she is. Yes.
So stay tuned for that.
The link is coming soon. Make sure to sign up for our mailing list if you haven't already, to be the first to know when I launch this out. So this is going to be a really big talisman making ceremony, so you're not going to want to miss it. Let's move into our house, shall we?
Interesting conversation we're going to have.
Yes. Who in our podcast listening group, raise your hand. You can actually do it if you want. Have you heard of castor oil before? I'm going to guess that...
So raise your hand if you have heard of it. Raise your other hand. Hopefully you're just use one hand if you're driving. If you've used it.
So, they got two hands up.
Right, because I think we've all heard of castor oil, and it's kind of this old-fashioned grandma giving it to your grandma in a spoon. When I mentioned it to my mom, she's like, "Oh my God, my mom gave that to me. It was horrible." She'd line me and her siblings up, and her mother got ice cubes out and handed each kid, because she's one of four, an ice cube. They had to put it in their mouth and numb their mouth before they got a spoonful of castor oil.
Yeah, because that stuff is thick. So I also want to just take a step back, and what is castor oil if you don't know what it is. It has so many uses, not even just for the body. I mean, it's used by engineers, it's used by car companies, it's used as this like brilliant lubrication because it's so like clean the way that it's composed.
And it's from the castor plant.
Castor bean. And it's also known as the palm of Christ because it has incredible healing properties. And, we're going to talk a decent amount about the different ways that we've used castor oil. And of course, this isn't us telling you to go out and do it. You can try it for sure because...
Do your own research.
Yeah, do your own research. Yeah. See if it's for you. This is, something that we've found that works really well for us. So, and it's been around for centuries. It dates back to Egyptian times, BC, where they found it in some scrolls that it was used as a laxative. And it was used either for a laxative... for someone who just needed that, or to induce labor for pregnant women. So tell me a little bit about how...
Well, only because, I've been back with, not that I've left my naturopath, but it was just like, oh, you know what? I probably need to get her and get some blood work. And, I do that every so often. And so I did and called, and she's like, okay, well, so I want you to do castor packs. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And she told me about this. She sent me some information, and you have to take this flannel. We had to go up to the fabric store and get this wool flannel piece, and drench this thing with this castor oil. And you put it right on. She has me put it on partially on my abdomen, like over my liver, and all the way around back, because your liver's all on your right side. And then a cloth, like a thin towel, and then a heating pack. And you have to lay down for 45 minutes or an hour and a half, for a long period of time, while this castor oil seeps into your body through your skin. Mm-hmm. And it draws impurities out. So, okay. And she said, oh, and you've got your knee issue. So let's put one on your knee and it'll draw out the inflammation. So she goes, in fact, my very first massage, her aunt was a massage therapist mm-hmm. who was from a foreign country, and said, oh, I use castor oil for all my, that's the oil I use for all my client massages. So it's this healing property that not only transcends your skin cells, it gets into your nervous system.
Oh, interesting.
Which is why Edgar Cayce has used this in his therapies. So if you could go to edgarcayce.org and read about the 88 or 81 cases of things that he has cured through this castor oil pack.
And it's so interesting because it's like so thick. It's this incredibly soft but like slow moving oil. Mm-hmm. And what I've seen is that a lot of makeup industries use it as a way of moisturizing, but it's also added with tons of other things. And you even used it on your face.
So I'm like, okay, I go up to the little store. No, you happen to have it. Because she suggested my naturopath who, man, if anybody needs a naturopath, this is mine and Alex's. Can we drop her name?
Let's
ask her.
Yes.
But get PM Alex or what? I am DM.
Okay. Alex at intentionbeads.com.
And she does this all virtually. Actually, she's from a different state from us. But oh my God, she's so smart. So she says use the one that's called Heritage. Sorry, I'm doing a name brand there, but which is the one that was suggested by Edgar Cayce, and his name's on the label and blah blah blah. And it's totally affordable. It's like $6 for whatever, a 6-ounce bottle. So I'm reading about all this, and I'm like, toe fungus, inflammation of the joints. It grows your eyebrows. I'm like, okay.
And your eyelashes. It helps with acne. It helps with wrinkles. It helps with smoothing the skin.
It helps with the dark spots. So I
dandruff.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, everybody. So I'm like, the first week, literally every place on me, my clothes are sticking to me because I got it underneath my clothes on my skin. I've got it all over my face, my hair sticking to the side of my face because, but I now have a better handle on it. I use it mostly at night. But in the morning, I put it under my chin, under my jawline, and I massaging it in over with one hand on one side over and over and over again. And I am not lying. Am I lying?
No.
Because you can see me right now.
Yes.
So it has tightened my jawline.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, not that I had a couple chins going on here, but it has tightened my jawline. I think my eyebrows, and this is just
growing back.
Mm-hmm. I've been putting it on, and it doesn't matter if it gets inside your eyes. There's something I read about cataracts. It's like the palm of Christ is just got this healing hand on you. That's what I feel. Again, I am not a doctor. Again, I am not saying this is the cure for anything, okay? Go see what you like to put on the bottom of your feet if they're cracked.
In a bathtub.
So, it even said, I just have to say this one part because it says in some of the online things that it helps, like I said, it helps with constipation. And so I'm like, squeezing it in my smoothie every day. And oh my God, I can't, you saw the bottle I bought.
Right.
I don't even know it's bigger than my vodka bottle. because I haven't touched my vodka bottle in a month
Right.
now
Well,
because I'm on a
how
cleanse.
far are you through this castor oil?
For half. I'm at about half.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And you do it too.
No, yeah, you gave me a castor oil pack. It's nice because it's like it forces you to lay down. It forces you like, don't get up, don't do anything. This is your time for just healing and resting. Mm-hmm. It's nice. And I love heat packs, like heat pads. Mm-hmm.
So I'm putting this in my smoothie every day and drinking it. And I have a follow-up conversation with my doctor. She and I had a talk on, was it yesterday? Yeah. And I said, oh, by the way, I'm also putting it in my smoothie. And she goes, for you, some pathway, blah, blah, blah. She's like, stop doing that.
Well, because your body can get really used to it where if you're not taking castor oil
internally, orally.
Right,
yeah.
orally, then you can get more constipation and you'll need castor oil in order to have to go.
To have the go.
Yes.
So, and anyway, that was her advice to me. That is not my advice to you. So, anyway, castor oil baby.
Yeah.
I
You're
am
like basically, you should be
love
on
with
the
it.
front of the bottle with like a little dog pulling at your bottom bathing suit.
So I have, which like the monkey for you?
No, do you like what was that?
Copper tone?
Copper tone.
Yeah.
The logo.
So yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Oh, the monkey for me. Yes, that story in Bali where the monkey pulled down my pants. Yes.
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But I even I've got a little bowl of it filled up to the top. So I just have to dip my finger in it and not sort of like pour it out into my hand from the squeeze bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have it in a little dish. So I just dab it and put it on my eyebrows every morning.
Yeah, perfect.
When I'm putting my makeup on, which is minimal. I put minimal makeup on because I wear false eyelashes on my Instagram posts. Like false.
Yeah.
Eyelashes.
Filter false.
But pretty soon I'm going to have my own eyelashes that thick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
So anyway, check out castor. Just Google it.
Do the research
Google it
yourself. See if you like it. Give it a try. And then, of course, let us know on Instagram, Facebook, or email me, alex@intentionbeads.com. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is the conclusion of our episode today. We love you. We thank you so much. We give all of our thanks to you this week, especially for supporting us, for loving us, for listening to us here on the podcast. So we hope you have a beautiful Thanksgiving. We know it's going to be very different for us all. But just know that we are all here. We're here with you, and we send you lots of love and thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
And the search ends here, where the